And I thank all the speakers today who joined from Jamia Hamdard, who joined from SEAS College, who joined from industry, Dr. Sandeep, Dr. Sunil Deshpande, and our professors from Jamia Hamdard, Dr. Shibu John, Dr. N. Ravichandran, Dr. Ray Chaudhary, and Ubaida Akil, who couldn't join. So we end this particular speaker session, the faculty session here, and we will keep the question answer session to speakers and to students at the end of this particular evening. Let us move towards the student panel and hear them out what they have to say about their expectations from the industry, their careers, what problems are they facing and what solutions are they finding. So yes, let me introduce who are there with us at the student panel. What students say about their career in pharma. We have with us students from various management colleges. Shreya Gavde, MBA Pharmaceutical Management from Nasi Monjee Institute of Management Sciences. Nayan Chakrabarti, Pharmaceutical Management MBA from SEAS College. Divya Thakur, MBA student, Pharmaceutical Management from IIHMR. Akshay VR, MPharm, Pharmaceutical Administration from Manipal. Asmita, MBA student, Pharmaceutical Management, Jamia Hamdard. Welcome all the student panel to this particular session. You have been spotlighted and let us have an intense conversation. We will be throwing you some uncomfortable questions and are looking for answers, right questions also. Say hi, let us start this session, right?
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon,
everyone.
Good afternoon,
everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
So Akshay, let Vivek sir ask a question to you first.
My first question would be to my friend Nayan.
Yes, sir.
Whatever said and done, whether we like it or not, English is the corporate language of the pharmaceutical industry, and maybe it will continue to remain as the corporate language for the next maybe 500 years. But I find when I'm interacting with students, when I'm interacting with brand managers who are experienced brand manager, I find that the correct use of grammatically correct English is missing these days. So, what do you feel about this? And do you think management colleges, the B schools, should pay attention to this and maybe even start, a subject on the learning English?
Vivek sir, I'll just make a mention. Let us ask this question to Akshay first. Let him answer a few questions because he has to go for his exams today. Akshay, please answer this question.
Can you repeat the question once more, sir?
The question I have was, English is the corporate language, will continue to remain as a corporate language maybe 500 years. But many of the students and many of the experienced people in brand management find they are not very good in speaking or writing grammatically correct English. And this is, I would say, unpardonable when it comes to writing copy, medical marketing copy. That is unpardonable. So, what do you think should the steps which the B school should take to overcome this?
So, what I personally think about this, like improving the better writing skills and like communicating effectively. Like I think as a MPharm pharmaceutical administration student, like even I just entered into MPharm first sem after my BPharm, like in October of this year, in 2020. So, like I was a little nervous and all when it comes to public speaking initially. So when when my classes started of MPharm pharmaceutical administration, I was initially having this all like seminars and all. I had to take seminars. We used to have group discussions, case studies, and several other activities related to communications. And all these activities are actually like improving my self-confidence. Like I'm becoming more enough confident so that I can express my views in front of the public. So I think every B school student, like even they might be pharma MBA student and M.Pharm student, they should be like very much confident when they communicate. So they have to be like whatever they communicate, it should be understandable to the other person. The receiver should be like properly able to decode what the person is trying to say. And then the same way, like when we talk about the written communication, the grammar should be perfect and it should be like proper. It should be understandable. Yes, sir.
I would direct the same question again to Nayan because Nayan is a person who has worked as a medical representative before joining the uh, institute.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, sir.
And the same question I would like to ask you. I would like to know your response to that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Actually, sir, communication is a greater skill set when it comes to pharma management or pharma professional. Because when you are communicating with the doctors, first I will start with the grassroots level, like as everyone said about the grassroots level, every professor said about the grassroots level. So I will start with the grassroots level, like when you are communicating with the doctors. So we should be verbally communicative and we should use proper English while communicating with the doctors. They are the key customers or the key drivers of our products. So definitely they are the we should communicate properly to the doctors when it comes to scientific knowledge, when it comes to communicating in English and so on and so forth. And after that, when it comes to corporate communications, like when you are interacting with the sales rep, medical rep, or when we are communicating with the higher authorities like managers, CEOs, or managing directors. So definitely the corporate communications come into play, and plays a vital role in our day-to-day life. So definitely we should have a good communication skill to grow off the ladder, and along with that we should have a greater knowledge of the products as well. So jumbling up with the knowledge of the products and the good communication skills, it works a bit more and bit more communicative to the what we say. Yeah.
But my specific question is, what support do you need from the B schools for that? Because every student passing out from the B school is not really very competent in this language. So
Yeah.
the question exactly is, what support do you require from the B schools?
As my college is giving classes of corporate communications, business communications, so we need some such knowledges from base school, like how to communicate with the when how to communicate with the doctors, how to communicate with the professionals when it comes to corporate communication. So our base school, our business school, like SIS, College of Management Studies, is giving a proper education about the corporate communications. So that's all to say.
Great. And I
I'll
hope
put a
all the
question.
other schools also give this kind of support, which Nayan gets.
Right, Vivek sir. And thank you, Akshay and Nayan, both of you, for answering this question. We will speak about English a little later also. I'll put a few questions with Akshay first, sir, because he has to go for the exam.
Yeah, I can
Right.
understand.
Akshay, I'll ask a question to you. Would you like to work
Yes,
in
sir.
India or go abroad?
Uh, that is actually a difficult question to answer, but I think it's a like more of a personal question, like whether the person has to decide whether he is comfortable staying in abroad or in India.
Mhm.
So if someone is like really close to their family, then they have to like frequently visit your parents and like I think they should probably go for India only. And
Is it not
the working
associated with?
conditions might.
Huh. Please speak, Akshay. Right.
Yes, ma'am. What?
Please speak. Please go
Excuse me.
on.
Did you ask something? Yeah. Okay. Uh, and what I think about doing right now is after my MPharm, I'll work in India. Like I'll work in India, probably in wherever like I get placed, and whichever task which I take, like whether it may be in the grassroots level or in the product management team or whatever. Like I'll probably learn from all of that. Like whatever tasks which is assigned to me, I'll do that. But I'm not quite sure about like working abroad.
And one more question to you. Would
Yeah,
you
that's
rather
it.
join pharma marketing or pharma sales, and why?
I think I'll go for pharma marketing uh, because like the subjects which have been taught to me in the college about the pharmaceutical marketing and all, and it's quite fascinating that the topics and that subject, like it's very interesting from my perspective, and that's the reason I would like to go for pharmaceutical marketing.
So how do
And
you envision pharma marketing job to go? Would you be sitting in the office, or would it be 15 days in the field and rest of the days in the office? What is in your vision? How do you see this job as pharma marketing?
obviously, I don't think as sitting in. I don't think the pharmaceutical marketing job will be just sitting in the office for sure. Like I'll have to go to the field. I'll have to meet doctors. Then this is what I've been taught. Like I've been listening to a lot of dignitaries who are speaking today. So also I do not have any experience also. Right? I'm still in the uh, process of studying and learning.
And one last question to you: why not pharma sales?
Uh, so like whatever task I've been put onto, I'll have to do it in the end of the day. I'll have to prove myself because I am learning all those aspects in my subjects.
Okay. So if
Yes, sir.
the company asks you to join at the sales position first, and then we will transfer you to the marketing position, what would be your reaction?
I'll wholeheartedly I'll accept that offer.
Okay. Thank you, Akshay. I understand the time constraint that you have today. You have an exam at 2:30 today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And we wish you all the best in your exams
Yes.
today.
Wishes from all of us. Do well in the exam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, Akshay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So we continue with the student panel here with us, Shreya, Asmita, Nayan, and Divya. Divya, are you there?
Yeah, she's there. Just saw her.
Yes, maybe some.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Divya.
Right. So Vivek, sir, you can
I
ask
have a
questions.
question for Shreya. Where is Shreya? Yeah. Shreya, you're passed out from a very premium business school and you have been a gold medalist, right?
Yes, sir.
And now you have been working for a very good multinational. I would just like to know what is the gap you find between what you have learned in the preschools and its application in your day-to-day work?
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Vivek sir, Swati ma'am, for inviting me to the session. And thank you, Vivek sir, for this introduction as a gold medalist. But I think, yes, there is a gap and that needs to be bridged. Maybe that depends upon which preschool you're taking education from. That is also important. But then I feel that our industry is very dynamic, like it is moving day by day. There are new changes, there are new researches that are happening day by day. So I think these schools should have a particular course or a particular session at the end of the day, that wherein students can sit together and they can decide, like there is something, a group discussion sort of a thing, wherein they can discuss about what is going on in the pharma space today. like what is happening, what has happened today, and how is it going to impact the entire industry. So if not coming to conclusions, at least this discussion can, ignite few minds towards certain things that is necessary, I feel. And I think there are many courses also, like we see that digital opportunities are increasing, but then our syllabus that is in these schools is more of concept learning. So if there are courses or if there are live projects wherein we can incorporate these learnings from these schools, and then we can make use of our digital capabilities that we are learning in practice now, and use these things into the live projects, I think industry can grow much well. So I think that can be a gap, a small gap, I think, but then that needs to be bridged, because that is where the future stands.
Would you like to work as a medical representative before coming on to uh, corporate office in the marketing management or the brand management? Do you have any
Yes,
inhibitions? I'm asking you particularly because you belong to the stronger sex, to the stronger gender.
sir, I think I am in the sales role now.
Okay,
And yes,
okay.
yes, I am in the sales role now, and I'm enjoying my work, because I think the prime thing what I remember always and I keep in my mind is, why am I interacting with my customer? If I know why I am interacting with my customer, I know that is value addition to me. So if I know this is value addition to me, I will make it a point to go on the field and interact with my customer. Because as I always mention and I always listen in my office also, that strategies made in 20 degrees Celsius will not work at 40 degrees Celsius. So it is much important for us to go on the field, interact with our customers, and that our market is our place of strategy. So I think initially working on field, working on the ground is more important.
I loved your answer.
And that is why
I
I
loved
am
your
in
answer.
sales now.
Dr. Swati, would you like to ask her anything?
Wonderful answer, Shreya. And that is what the industry also looks forward to in a student. The student thinks that I have my path charted out as soon as I pass out from the colleges, but the actual scenario is completely different. You need to be, first of all, at a place where you look at the things and compare them, think about yourself, why you are joining something, and after that, take that decision. So being at the field is the most important step for any student who is going to join the industry. I would ask you a question, not rather a question, a suggestion. Would you suggest some topics that business schools should incorporate into their curriculums according to industry current needs?
Unmuted, okay. Yes, ma'am. There are topics such as artificial intelligence, data analytics, or machine learning, or website building, also very basic things like website building and all. So, because all of this is taking up very fast into the industry, and if this batch, these current batches, if they are passing out now, so I think these, if they come out with these skills already from the B schools, it'll be very easy to adopt the digital culture that is going on in the industry now. So these, and even I think Sunil sir mentioned about virtual realities. So such programs or such examples of the companies who are actually implementing this on field, who are actually using these concepts in their marketing strategies. So I think if we learn that, then it'll be much better for us to form strategies in future. So I think these subjects will be more important, like along with the lessons that we've learned, the concepts that we are learning in our textbooks. I think these practical sessions are more important, so that
Right.
we can learn to interact with live brands, handle those brands, know how those brands are perceived on field, and then use digital into that, and then form strategies and execute them. So I think such courses are more helpful.
And what about a course, Shreya, if I suggest emotional intelligence? Have you gone through it somewhere? A course on emotional intelligence. How important do you
Yes.
find this particular topic to be integrated or you have learned in your B school?
Yes. So actually, I just wanted to speak on a few points that I had in mind. So if after our session, I can speak on that. So I had incorporated this point in that thing also, that there are two things I feel more important. I mean, on E, and two things on I. That is, first is intelligence, integrity, then energy, and then emotional intelligence. These are the 4 things together that I always keep with myself, because these are the skills, or I can say these are the qualities that you need to possess as a brand manager or as a person also. If you're working in the industry, of course, we need to have these
Wonderful.
4
Wonderful.
qualities.
I said
Those
wonderful.
intelligence somewhere will make you reach to a level. Your integrity will prove that you are at that level. And then, yes, your ethics, your integrity will take you to a next level where you desire to be. And your emotional intelligence will make good connections to people, and you will be able to form that particular network into the industry, and a lifelong network that you can cherish in future also. So I think to form that network, to implement your leadership qualities on field or on a particular brand session, or I can say any session, or by leading a team. If you have leadership qualities and if you have intelligence, I think you can form good teams, and then good teams can work on good brands. So as a brand manager, you need to have emotional intelligence, because it is people who can make brands. It is not technologies that work.
Right,
So
Shreya.
I feel
Yeah, yeah. The audio had a bit of disturbance, but yes, you made your point loud and clear. Thank you for this. Let me ask a question to Divya. Divya, what are the career prospects for you going forward as a pharma management student?
Uh, Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Uh, Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, yes, Divya, we can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So, talking about the career prospects for a pharma student. So we have like different fields, like different domains in pharmaceutical industry that we can go in. So we have marketing, we have sales, we have we can go for supply chain management as well, or we can go for like consulting services through business analytics. And we have like good opportunity in human resource management as well, in the pharmaceutical industry. So like for me, like say, as I have decided to go for marketing only. So because like from initial only, I have decided that I want to go for marketing, and in marketing only for for the product management. And so because it's a very a very brain over there you always keep brainstorming your new ideas for for launching or promoting your product or brand. So yes, that is there.
Okay. Nice. So questions from your side to Divya?
Yeah, I would like to ask Divya, what do you expect from industry mentors? Because your college, even I know about NMIMS and also know about SIS and even Hamdard, you have a lot of interactions with mentors from outside the academia. What are your expectations from the industry mentors?
So, first of all, like the main expectations are that what we study in our college, in our classes, it's totally like academics and theory based. So, we expect more that how can we to know that how can we implement those whatever we are learning, those knowledge in a practical way. So, I think that exposure should be there, and fortunately I got the or I got this opportunity. I was doing this live project with my classmates. So this live project was from Zuventus Healthcare. So we were strategizing the digital marketing strategy for this for the new drug launch. So yes, so through while doing that project, we got to know that how and where we can implement our knowledge of what we are learning, where we can execute it and how, in which way. And secondly, when I was doing my summer internship in under the guidance of Professor Vivek sir, so during that also, I was reading his books and the PPTs or the articles which sir has shared with us, and I was trying to implement those ideas or those knowledge which I was getting from those articles. So I was trying to implement those in my project, and which was came out very innovative and creative. So yes, that is the main thing which
So
a
you
college
look
student.
into the mentors for the implementation part of the curriculum
Yes,
that you have been taught, right?
also how the corporate culture works, and how they make strategies, like more a more industry perspective they want to know, like, because like they never get the exposure in the college, so through the industry mentors only they get the exposure.
Right, Vivek, sir, and right, Divya, thank you. Okay, my next question would be to Asmita Jasta from Jamia Hamdard. Asmita, I will be putting you in uncomfortable questions. Okay, management students from B school, when they join companies like Hindustan Unilever or ITC, have to mandatorily work at grassroots levels in the dusty villages and other rural areas. And they do this happily. But when it comes to pharma, there is a great reluctance. Many are reluctant to work in field as medical reps or field managers. What do you feel about this?
Ma'am, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and a very relevant and mind-boggling question, I would say. So, ma'am, according to me, like about the companies that you mentioned, Hindustan Unilever and ITC, what I feel is since they have a mandatory thing for working in the grassroots level, so most of the students really don't have an option. Because if you want to work in these companies, you have to start from the grassroots level. It's that simple. The reluctance that you're talking about is like we as students have to work in a sales or a medical rep or a sales role. It may be due to a number of reasons, ma'am. First, it may be due to like a student has a natural inclination towards something else or caliber of something else. So if somebody is forcing a person or a student to go into a sales position, even though the person is not interested, the student is not interested. So I guess there is this vulnerability and a fear, among students that okay, I have to go into sales role, but I'm not really interested in it. Another thing is, ma'am, maybe due to we have this, psychological fear also. When we enter into B schools, we have some sort of idea about what responsibilities we will be having or what challenges we'll be facing in field. And all of these, like the preconceived notions that we have, they come from basically, discussion with the peers. They are not like relevant, and they can be also, they might not be sufficient. Okay, so what I feel is that if we like gain a knowledge about the roles and responsibility, like a reality check of what actually we when we'll go on to the field and what will be expected of us from the corporate professionals or alumni, and seek their guidance, then I think so it will be a psychological level will be set that yes, we have to do this. This is going to be something from where I grow up and definitely move up my career trajectory.
Right, Asmita. So there was a hint of making this compulsory, sir. As for doctors, rural posting has been made compulsory.
Yeah.
Right. I'll put this question to you, Nayan, again. What do you think about this?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Actually, the thing is that if you don't work in the grassroots level, you will not know the scenario out in the market. So after that, you can strategize. After that, you can make a big brand. So first of all, it's if you walking in a city, like as you mentioned, ma'am, before, that if you walk in a city, we don't know about the market in the rural area. So the market in the rural area and the market in the metro cities are much different, but the strategies are almost same to same. But the thing is that the thing I want to tell you that if we don't work in the field and know the market scenario, the in and out of the market, and everything else which are going in the market, how the behavior of the doctors we are getting as a medical rep, after that we can strategize in the cold room, as Shreya mentioned before, that 20 degrees and 40 degrees. So as of now we have to work for in the 40 degrees. After that we can strategize and in the 20 degrees.
Very well said. Very well said.
Right. This is the touch point. But I'll appreciate Ashmita for speaking out that and giving an idea about making something compulsory. Yes, sir, because as a student, we make wrong choices. We are ill-informed and the dearth of information is there. We think that we are made up for something and we completely miss out on the actual opportunity that we were fitting into. So students need guidance. And these schools must have a lot of guidance sessions. That is one thing I feel about. They should be exposed to various kinds of career opportunities that may come. There could be a gaming program also for them to choose what suits them for their own interest line. And it should be completely disconnected with the earning part of jobs, because for first 3 years after you pass out, as we discussed in the previous sessions also, we have to learn and get ourselves trained. That is the one thing that we all have to understand here. One question I would put to Shreya, because she has been working in the field now. Shreya, is MBA degree synonymous to a money churning machine, wherein students think if I have an MBA degree, I'm bound to start earning a 6-digit salary right away after graduation?
Yes, that's a notion of many students there who think that after my MBA, I should be eligible for a 6-digit salary. But that is not the case, because if you see, like I have been in the PlaceCom of NMIMS Mumbai. So I have interacted with many professors, I have interacted with many industry leaders, and I have seen that everyone, like almost everyone, has started from sales, and they have started with a minimal salary. Even our chairman, Yugal Sikri sir, even he says that my salary was nothing. So I think MBA graduates should not think of MBA degree as a money churning machine. Instead, the thought process can be like, it is a skill churning machine. It is a machine that will help you build yourself, because there are many interactions that happen during your MBA, like with good people who are in good positions of responsibility. So during that interactions, it is your time to learn everything, because your MBA is not only your concepts and your theory, it is your time to learn. It is giving you more time to realize and analyze what is missing in you, and then to build upon that. Like I believe there are many skill sets like problem solving, teamwork, or adaptability. So all of these things you learn while your MBA is going on. So instead, if we can shift that thing from a money churning machine to a skill building machine, then I think if you are out from that as a skilled person, then you get good jobs also, and then I think then the money will follow. That is not an issue always.
So Shreya gave an idea here to the MBA schools of her marketing. You know, she actually gave a tagline for MBA schools to market themselves: skill churning machine.
Ma'am, I just want to emphasize one point, that if we work in a sales, we also know about how to handle the objections as well. So until and unless we work in a field in sales, so we don't know how to handle objections. So we get objections from the stockist, we get objection from the retailer, we get objection from the doctors. So how we handle that situation is the main motto of us, and we can carry forward throughout our life that learning. That's amazing.
Right, problem solving skills.
Right.
If we
And
actually
ma'am,
talk
because
about,
I think all of us, like I'm seeing everyone here. So like millennials always have dreams, and we should have. Why not? Even I dream of something huge. Even I aspire to become something that you already know. So I think with
Why
this
don't
we
you
have
spell it
even
out?
potential.
Why
Yes,
don't you
I
spell
want to
your
become.
Shreya, what you want to become?
I want to become a CEO of a pharmaceutical company, and I am working towards it. So I have the potential, I believe, and I believe every millennial who dreams has potential to do. So if we can combine two different things, like the vast experience that our industry leaders are bringing to the table, and plus the digital capabilities of students and their potential, then I think we can ensure the growth of our industry, and then nobody can stop India from dominating the global pharma market. So then I think it should be a combination of both.
Wonderfully put, Shreya. Wonderfully put. Vivek sir, would you like to ask question to
Yeah,
any?
one last question to Asmita. And first of all, I'd really like to compliment Asmita. A few days back, she was in the hospital bed, and she even wrote her exams from the hospital bed. My salutes to you. And this is the kind of grit and determination which students should have. Now, I would like to ask Asmita, from where did you learn and where did you get all these kinds of guts?
Uh, Thank you, sir, for the appreciation. Sir, I really don't have any source of all of these grit that you're talking about, but it's just that I had this thing in mind that I have prioritized things in my life, that what is important for me. And as of now, like I'm pursuing MBA, so like health is also important. I get it, but with the ups and downs, I believe we have to strike a balance between two. So it's not that I was so sick I was not able to get up. I managed to I managed to give my exams, but it was also set in my mind because I was not able to rest. I have anxiety also because if I were not able, I have to skip my exams. So I don't think so I contributed to anything, and the entire semester which I learned and what I the all the hard work that I put into it will just go to waste. So I thought that maybe, and I also believe in challenging myself. So this was something that I did. I don't know how you know about it, but still, um this is my source of determination, and I
I thought you
believe
would
in.
say the source of determination are your teachers, Dr. Ray Chaudhary, Dr.
Yes,
Shibul
yes,
Jol,
sir. Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Ravi
That is also
Chandran.
a very
I thought you would say
yes, sir.
that.
Yes, sir. That is also imperative part because they have molded us to be empowered individual, and without their support and guidance, I don't think so I'll be able to make any decisions in my life. So credit goes to all of them. So yes, sir.
Right, Asmita. Hats off to you. Wonderful, and hats off to Jamia Hamdard faculty who supports their student
Absolutely.
wonderfully.
Absolutely.
Divya, one last question to you. Since you talked about mentors from industry, are you satisfied currently with the interface between academia and industry? Like, are there enough opportunities for you to gain insights from industry experts, or what is your experience till now? How do you connect with industry mentors currently, and what you would like to see happening?
So, ma'am, last year, like it's the new year now. So last year, I got like various opportunities. The first one, I did internship under Vivek sir. Then I prepared a brand plan. So it was my first exposure to, just implementing the whatever I have learned throughout the first year. So I was just implementing those learnings into that project. Then the second opportunity was I was working and I was doing this project which is like preparing a marketing plan under the guidance of group product manager who is group project manager who is currently working in MCure, Dr. Abhishek sir. So the like I've learned a lot of things, like when I was doing my internship under Vivek sir. So the difference what I have seen is like, you know, how we can prioritize our things, as Ashmita said. Like it's very important to prioritize your things, and like how like it is very important to learn and keep updating yourself through reading books and through reading the current articles. So also when in the second internship, like the sir was my mentor was expecting that like you should know each and everything of the current scenario, the pharmaceutical market and everything. So through learning, through reading process only you will get to learn. And yes ma'am, like through this one.
Anything you would ask industry to do for the students? Industry to do for the students.
Yes, ma'am. More of live projects should be introduced in colleges, so that they can get a small exposure or a little exposure to like how the industry works, or the how exactly the projects like undertaken. So in that way.
And while you are studying, this is a difficult question, and the live projects come to you, would you expect remuneration also?
Ma'am?
Would you expect some sort of remuneration also? You'll be given some remuneration while you do the live projects. Would you expect that?
Yes, ma'am, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Any inputs over this particular question from any of you, student panel? Like, what more you want industry to do for students? Because after you pass out, industry is going to ask you to do for them. So just ask here what you want to want from the industry.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a suggestion here. I'm also part of the placement committee in Jamia Hamdard. So I would like industry professionals to be a little considerate about the freshers, because everywhere we, try to get an opportunity, there's always this bar of that we need experience and we need this. I believe that freshers have a lot of capabilities, and if they're molded in the right directions, they can do wonders. So this is something that I would like to use your platform to ask all of the professionals that please help us, please guide us. If it may not be in form of opportunity, please give us your valuable insights. So this is what I would like to add here.
Wonderful, Ashmita. Anything to add, Shreya, here? Because you've
Yes,
been
ma'am.
on the two sides of the coin already.
Yes, exactly. And that is why I feel what Asmita said is absolutely correct, that industry should be acceptable. And I think even people in the industry, like we consider our pharmaceutical industry to be a sunrise sector, because it is like blooming and expanding and giving opportunities. But then I also consider that even if freshers are given opportunities, I think industry leaders should also, or I think the management team or the brand management team should also be acceptable to certain things that we suggest, because it is coming very raw, it is coming very fresh. Like not everything requires experience, not every suggestion or not every thought process requires experience, I feel. And if they can incorporate this thought and club it with their experience, I think then that is where they can make good brands, or that is where they can make our industry can grow basically. Because we might come up with good solutions, because we as an industry, we see we are facing challenges such as accessibility, affordability of medicines, and we aim at providing quality healthcare. So if the students are coming up with newer solutions, I think the industry should be acceptable to these solutions and should cooperate to incorporate these solutions and provide quality healthcare to everyone. So I think that should be a point.
Right, sure, right. Okay, we have our mentors speaking up for you. All the students here are going to have bright future. I like the way you all articulated your thoughts. Pankaj sir is there. Asmita, in corporate world, there's a lot of competition. You must all know how to navigate through company politics, which is there everywhere. To know that initially freshers must be very observant. Thank you, Pankaj sir, for this particular input. It is imperative for them to know this. I'll again ask the speakers of the session, the faculty to ask questions from the students. Please be there. Ray Chaudhary sir. Right, Sandeep sir, please ask questions if you find something to ask here to the students. And Shibu sir.
No, instead of asking them a question, I think I'll respond to what Shreya just said about experience. I think Asmita also mentioned something about industry wanting experience. This is a problem of the industry. It's not your problem. In my entire career, I always used to recruit people with maximum 1 year experience, because after that they typically get spoiled by the daily maramari of this industry. Please do not spoil yourself with that daily maramari, and build yourself in a manner where you truly see reality as it is. You still truly, to use my story once again, to look for the wallet where you have lost it, not where it is easy to search for it.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep. Wonderfully put. Dr. Sunil, you have any questions for the students?
I've been listening to all the students, and I always consider the students to be the future of the industry as well as the nation. And I'm really happy to listen to the thoughts of the students this afternoon. But actually, I just wanted also to comment, because of the reason that I have seen both the sides of the fence, that is the industry for 2 decades and now academia for more than 10 years now. And I feel that unfortunately there is a gap between industry and academia to a very large extent. And perhaps the reasons for these gap are beyond the forum of this discussion. There are some regulatory factors which are primarily responsible for this gap, and there are some other factors as well. Perhaps they are outside the context of this discussion. But then what is in our hands is finding out solutions to those gap areas, as some of the students actually mentioned. Now, if you really, I have seen that, for example, the students, somebody just now said, if you mold them, and I do agree to that thought, that's a very pertinent thought. Well, the students have wonderful talents, I can tell you. And I have seen that. But what requires is giving them a direction, the right direction, giving them a pathway. Now, if you expect industry to do that, probably, as I said in my industry is really like a horse vision. And that horse vision is directed towards the only 2 economic or commercial parameters. So you don't really expect the industry to come closer to you and help you to grow up. That's the sad part of it, but that's the reality. That's a hard reality. If you want to grow up, then I think you have to grow up taking your own baby steps and taking up some initiatives, by virtue of which you make a mark for yourself, and then you grow up, and then probably you proceed ahead in your careers. So I would actually raise my inhibitions, or I would say raise my thoughts, rather concerns, that how both industry and academia, I believe they should go hand in hand. But unfortunately, they operate in silos to a very large extent. And this is actually a topic which requires a lot of discussions, as well as, detailed kind of, going into the depth of the level. But I would just request the students at this juncture that you involve yourself in this 2 years of your post graduation. I think what is required, there are some expectations which will help you to bridge that gap. And some steps which I expect the students to take is, as I said, everything cannot be taught in that matter of few subjects. And there are a lot many things which remain outside the purview of those subjects. So I find your knowledge on a particular topic not only through the subjects, but through various channels today which are available. Uh, projects which can be initiated by themselves. For example, now I'll just give you an example. If I want to find out, for example, what is the trend of hemoglobin tonics in the country, now for that, I don't have to depend upon a company ABC to give me a project. I can myself take an initiative in the city where I live and probably, do a small project, a representative project to get a first-hand idea about what is the trend of hemoglobin tonics in my city. So I mean, projects which can be initiated by the students themselves, and they are not industry dependent. They are depending on your own initiative. Okay. Or if I would like to know how to interact with, for example, a medical practitioner, I mean, nobody stops me, and I can, create a small kind of a subject matter for an interaction on any topic, and I can do that project myself. Okay. Now we have taken certain actions in our institute where I function for the last 9-10 years, where we actually involve students to go into the marketplace and carry out these projects under various kinds of subjects matters. But my only expectation from the student is, probably it would be too much really to expect the industry, because unfortunately industry has got its own priorities, and as I said, they work mainly in silos. So neither academic, I mean, there is a scope even for academicians to be a part of the industry, because where do we come from? We have not come from anywhere, but we are basically products of the industry itself. So when somebody says academia and industry, actually it hurts me, because I see both of them, they go hand in hand. But the way in which they operate are slightly something which is unagreeable. But we need to overcome. That is what I would expect the students to, follow that, so that it is for their benefits. I hope I have made my point clear.
Yes, Dr. Sunil. Wonderfully put. Ray Chaudhary, sir,
yes,
any questions from you? Yes.
Yeah, I agree with Dr. Sunil. I mean, the first step has to be from academia. And for that, we do encourage our students, and I tell all students who come into contact with me, there are now various avenues for interaction with all stakeholders in this industry. Whether it's doctor, chemist, you go out on the field, or you're professionals in the field, you do a LinkedIn connection and do a chat and learn. So the initiative has to be from the students. Industry, again, as he said, has got priorities. Now, for example, if you talk of this anemia, as he said, the hemoglobin level, so one can take out the data and make an analysis and diagnosis. So when in the interview, the student can speak with initiative, that having done some depth of work. Now, I insist on the student to go out in batches and meet the doctors and chemists and give them a problem. We discuss the problem beforehand, and then they go out on the field. So the students have to shed their inhibition. You see, the generation has an inhibition and an ego. First thing I tell my student, shed your ego, because the doctor has got a bigger ego than you. So unless you can shed your ego, you cannot be in this field. So when the shedding the ego starts right from the class days. And with so much of social media in the world, we never had so much of social media. So we couldn't form our ego so strongly as the present day student form their ego. So my request to student is ego that, as Dr. Sandeep said, the persuasion and conviction. Form your own conviction based on facts and data. And that you can get from the social media and other industries very well. So that is my suggestion and guidance to the student. And an example I'll give. Suppose there is a ladder leaning on the wall. And after MBA, I want a 6-digit salary. And I want to step on the second step or third step of the ladder. Try it, please. The ladder will come back on you and fall on your head. You have to take the first step, climb up fast, depending on your learnings and intelligence. That you can do. But the first step you have to take. You cannot jump on the second or third step with a 6-digit salary and a larger expectation. The ladder comes up and fall on your head and you fall flat on the ground. So, it may sound a little cynical, bit of an army regimentation, but that's where the discipline starts. And then you take your own course. Thank you.
One thing I can add to this is the only position on which you can earn a 6-digit salary at the start in a pharmaceutical company is in sales.
Exactly.
You cannot earn this in any other department of the company. So you should try and reconcile. Do you want a 20 degrees job or a 40 degrees job versus do you want a 6-digit salary or a 4-digit salary?
Very smartly put, Sandeep sir. You have put the ball back to the students' court. So, one of the speakers for tomorrow, Bhavesh sir, has put a question to the student panel. Why is it that students are reluctant for accepting the sales job? Is it the discomfort of field work or fear of losing out the opportunity to join the product management team or the head office jobs? This is a question that you have to be answering in a very, I would say, from the heart. You have to answer this from the heart. What is it that you fear in a sales job?
Or is it a fear that they will be so successful in the sales job that they won't like to move out?
Sir, that is only 1 out of 10, I think, today. Very right. There are very passionate people in the sales. Like I related about one of my interns. At 12 o'clock at night, he got hold of a distributor, got it from his depot and supplied to the doctor. He didn't have to wait for the job. He got a PPO. And he's doing very well. But then again, that needs passion, the fire in your belly.
Right.
Not everybody has the same fire. Some have data crunching skills. They would like to say something and do research. Some would like to meet doctors, chemists. Some would like to interact with, on the field. Some would like to interact with data on the screen. So there are, plenty of options available now. In our days, options were less.
Right, Dr. A. Chaudhary. So shall I put this question to student panel? If a job offer comes with the pharma sales job offer, would you accept it? First of all, let us hear them out. Would they accept?
Yeah, ma'am, I want to take that.
Nice.
Can I go ahead?
In the field. Divya, what's your take?
Okay.
Definitely, ma'am. I would love to do the sales job because I love interacting with new people, and through that only I would learn the customer needs and the wants, and I can give the feedback to the to my company. So there's a lot to learn on the ground level.
Right, Asmita.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I'm all in for sales position. Why? Because I believe moving in a career is sort of a journey, right? And sales is a part of it. And if you want to skip a part of the journey, I don't think so it's meaningful. And in order to reach the destination, whatever we have in our mind, I think so journey is what is important. And sales is something which requires a lot of passion. It has its own set of skills, but also if you have a setup in your mind that I want to go in sales and this is what I will learn, and it's not necessary that I want to stay in sales, right? It can be something like a stepping stone to something else. But yes, I do want to start and I will take an opportunity in sales.
Great. And Shreya is already doing that, so no point in asking.
Yes,
Also,
already
ma'am, I would
interacting
like
with everyone.
Right. So all the participants and the Facebook Live audience, students who are listening to it, I hope this helps in some way to make up your mind about this industry, to gain some insights about the career path that you will be choosing in your life.
Dr.
Ma'am,
Swati,
lastly, I want to emphasize one point that Divya said, that unmet need of the doctor. So what, until and unless you are working as a field rep, medical rep in the field, you can prove the doctor what are the unmet need of the doctor, and you can know the unmet need of the doctor. No product manager or no brand manager will know about the unmet need of the doctor. You will talk to the doctors as a sales rep, and you can prove to the doctors and know the unmet need of the doctor, and ultimately you can grow with the sales. Yeah.
also,
Dr. Swati,
ma'am,
can I make a
And we
point?
can go to the win-win situation after that.
Right. And Dr. Sunil, you were saying something, sir.
I said, can I make a point?
Sure, sir.
See, actually, we have been deliberating upon sales with a specific emphasis, and trying to explore whether the students would start off their career with sales. But I would just like to, expect the attention on a very different point. That now, for example, if you ask why sales, now the first thing is that there is no great teacher than sales for a management student, especially in the early years of the career.
Yes, sir.
Now, sales will not only is sales, but actually sales is made up of all the functions which, for example, future CEOs like Shreya are going to handle as a CEO, or the other students like Divya or Asmita or Nayan, and they're going to handle as a CEO. Like if you are in sales, no doubt you have to emphasize on sales. Okay, but at the same time, you are actually the master of your territory. So
Yes.
finance knowledge is equally important for you. Logistics knowledge is equally important for you. Customer relationship management, day in and day out, you are in touch with them. Marketing strategy implementation, you are in, of course, you have to do that to get the results. So basically, if you look at it, even HR related issues, if you are the first line manager or a second line manager, you are handling people. So I think sales is something we need to change our outlook towards it. Basically, first 2 or 3 years, if you are in sales, it's only going to be for your benefit, because
Yes.
I am going to get a first-hand experience of virtually all the functions which a top management professional in a pharma organization actually is going to handle. So what can be a better teacher than actually getting, a job in a sale? So I would not only expect, but I would urge, the student fraternity to consider sales from this perspective. I think that is the point which I wanted to make.
Yes. And
Where
Sunil
you
sir, even adding to what you said now, it just clicked me that while I was given this opportunity to take up pharmaceutical sales in Sardia also, I had one thing behind my mind always, that Sardia is more of knowledge oriented, more of science oriented and ethical organization. So then I got to learn a lot more in sales, because they believe, and even I believe, if you want to communicate a scientific message, you need to be first more pro in your science, more updated on what is going on in your field, your therapy. So it is giving you much more knowledge than what marketing is giving you, because
Absolutely.
marketing is communicating, and then but sales is already you've grasped all the knowledge in your therapy. So it's a plus point. So even if students are hesitating to go to sales, thinking that how difficult it will be for me to switch from sales to marketing, I feel knowledge is your main thing, and knowledge is your prime focus now, and even my prime focus now. So adopting sales and taking up this career, and as Asmita mentioned, we cannot skip a part that is integral to us. Ethics, science, and sales is more integral to us. So we cannot skip any of these things. And then if we take all of this, we combine all of this, I think we'll be in a better position to accelerate our career. And then even sky is not the limit then. So
Yeah,
I think
you
knowledge
only
is the
need,
key.
Shreya, only one thing I would add over here is sales is going to give you the answer to the question that what actually needs to be done, for example, for a particular brand at a particular stage in its life cycle. But at the same time, which I talked earlier, you also require your conceptual skills, which has come to you from this 2 years of formal learning and education. So it's basically a combination of what is really happening in the marketplace and your own conceptual abilities. And that will be the origin of the successful strategies and, of course, your careers.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swati.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil, for raising this point that we need to change the perception of how we look at pharmacist's career. If we can rebrand it, reposition it, and rename it, then I think it will make more sense, right, sir? So this is with the student panel discussions that we had today. I would invite now every speaker to provide their closing comments to this particular session, because we are joining you tomorrow also, and we're looking forward to more insights from the seniors of the industry tomorrow too. So I would invite Dr. Shibu John, if he is here, to give the closing comments. Dr. Shibu John?
I don't think he is there.
Okay. Ravi Chandran sir?
No, I don't think he is there.
Okay. So for Jamia Hamdard, Rai Chaudhary sir, you would be the person who would be the closing, providing the closing comments.
I mean, this event has been a big confluence of meeting industry, meeting Pharma State, and meeting students, and getting the gist of the whole thing. And after having listened to Professor Vivek, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Sandeep, and you, I think it has molded our thought process as a teacher also. So that is where the takeaway from is. And I suppose the students who have listened to this will also take away a lot of thoughtful messages that have come from the practical experience currently in the field from all three of them. And I really thank all three of them, Dr. Vivek, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Sandeep, and yourself, Dr. Swati. So this, I think, should be an event. And in the next event, perhaps I may request, you had brought in 3 stakeholders, students, industry, academia. Why don't you get in some doctors also? Maybe.
Sir, tomorrow we are getting doctors.
Okay, right, doctors. And maybe the other stakeholders who are very important in the pharma industry, that is the distributors.
Right.
Without them, you can't move a step. So all the stakeholders, including government policymakers, NPPA, and all that, I think it should be a beautiful event. And I thank all of you for having organized this. And I keep on doing this. This should not be, again, the first and the last something.
No.
Every quarterly. I know, Professor Vivek, you have the tenacity, but I would request every quarterly, or rather something like that. Like you have quarterly appraisals. Quarterly meeting like this. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, Professor Vivek, Dr. Swati, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Sandeep, and all the students and the student representative from the various colleges, MBA Pharma. I wish you all the best, good in your career, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rai Chaudhary. Your suggestions have been taken up, and we shall be planning something over this particular. Dr. Sunil, your closing comments for this particular session.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Swati. I would actually compliment you as well as Professor Pei, as well as the Pharma State Academy, all your team members for taking this initiative. And it's really a very, very important initiative that you people have conceived, bringing on 3 stakeholders of one platform. Sorry, there was some disturbance. Yeah. And it was really wonderful to listen to all the speakers earlier this morning. And I would only say that such interventions are very necessary, and they should continue over a period of time. and probably someday, it can actually become something like a representation for the industry. So I actually look at that as a vision to go forward to. So compliments to you as well as Team Pharma State Academy for this particular initiative.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunil. And we look forward to more sessions with you, Dr. Sunil, so that this doesn't stop. We really appreciate the support all the speakers have given us, and Vivek sir is always there. So nothing more to say about him. I now invite Dr. Sandeep Bhattacharya. Sir, please speak and let us know about your thoughts.
So the advantage of being the last speaker in the list is that everything which you wanted to say has already been said. So all that I would like to therefore say is thank you. Thank you to all of you, and thank you to the students who were participating in this. More I do not have to add.
Sir, but I take a very wonderful insight from you today.
I would
Yes,
like
sir.
to add a comment to Dr. Sandeep.
Yes, sir.
He is very witty and well. Sir, the last speaker, but in a train, the last guard is the most important person, even more important than a driver, I say. So, never to undermine your last position.
No.
You are the,
It is only, he is only good enough to show green or red jhanda.
yeah, that's true. Thank you.
So tomorrow,
nice to meet all
Sandeep
of
sir would be speaking in the first session itself as the first speaker with us. So that is good. Okay, Sandeep sir, thank you so much. For,
On this happy note, let us part. Thank you very much.
And closing comments from Vivek sir, the event chairperson, without whose efforts this would not be possible in any way. Vivek sir, over to you.
One thing which really distresses me, for the past decade and a half or maybe 2 decades, I have always been hearing India is ranked number 3 in the pharmaceutical industry. A decade and a half and 2 decades, we are still at number 3. But when I see the students like Divya, students like Shreya, Nayan, Akshay, and Asmita, I'm sure maybe within the decade, we will be in the premier position, in the number 1 position. And we are looking forward for more students to come into this industry. And that's all what I want to say. India is in the hands of great future CEOs.
Right, Vivek sir, you have put this nicely. And I would like to thank all the speakers now, all the participants who joined us, and our team at Pharma State Academy who have been the pillar of support. Vivek sir especially, Dr. Satish, without whom this event would not have been possible. We are looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at World Pharma Brand Managers Day, for which we received close to 1,400 registrations. You would be listening to the insights from the brand managers, the people who have been at the helm implementing the strategies for particular mega brands. Dr. Satish, can we have the video for tomorrow? Thank you so much, Dr. Satish. In brief, I must let all the participants and viewers know what is going to come tomorrow. Join us tomorrow to listen to the implementation strategies of mega brands like Allegra, Metrogyl, Bakersfields, Lantus, Januvia, Janumet, even Revital we are speaking about. The speakers are the most known faces of the industry, very big influences of pharma industry. We will have the inauguration ceremony by Dr. Sanjoy Mitra, and post that you must have seen the speakers for tomorrow are Dr. Sandeep Bhattacharya, Mr. Ashish Mukherjee, Mr. Amlesh Ranjan, Mr. Bhavesh Vyas, Mr. Bhaskar Chakrabarti, Mr. Pankaj Shrivastava, Mr. Pramod, and more. Even Dr. Sunil Deshpande is joining us tomorrow. And right after those sessions about the brand strategies, we would be moving towards and showing you few videos that key opinion leaders, doctors have made for the pharma industry. They have spoken about the brands. They have spoken about what they are expecting from the pharma industry. So be there to listen to them. If time permits, we may get a key opinion leader to speak live for us also and interact with the pharma industry experts here at this particular forum. Post that, we would be announcing the contest winners. We arranged a contest, Golden Brand Plan contest, and we have the winners list now. Dr. Sunil Deshpande would be telling the winner's name, and we will be inviting the judges of the contest also. The judges are Mr. Pawan Kulkarni from JB Chemicals, Mr. Manthan Janodia from Manipal, Dr. Sandeep from IHMR, and two judges from Bangladesh, Mr. Muhammad Mujahideen and Mr. A dignitary from Square Pharma, and Square Pharma is there too.
Mr. Kamrul Ahmed.
Kamrul Ahmed is there, right? So they all will be sharing with us the quality of brand plans and what the future of pharma brand management holds. So be there with us tomorrow on this particular event where a lot of learning is going to happen and a lot of interactions are expected. So this is all from my side. Swati signing off here. Thank you all of you for joining. Right. Bye, sir, and bye, everyone.